For today's cup of coffee, we're going to be discussing a very sticky situation.
I had a sticky situation.
He had a really bad experience with a
There's a
Walmart
reason why I
bathroom.
do not go into public restrooms.
Nobody goes into a public restroom, because they want to. It's a have to. He came out talking about as far as men being nasty. I'm like, oh no, you have not been in the women's bathroom.
Not only that, the toilet was bad enough. Fucking person literally yanking on the door, literally like hand on the top of the door. I was standing up. He was jarring the door like
it was a meth
pulling
head.
on it.
Meth head.
He saw me in there.
Meth
I'm
head.
taller than the fucking door.
Meth head. For real, because I'm not just saying that this time. I saw this person. I saw the person that dude was in there with, and it's like meth head. Yeah.
I slammed that door open. He's like, well, sorry, dude. And I hope that door hit him. I said, fuck you. It's fine. Flipped him off. Stormed out. And
so kid was highly irate. And I can understand that.
That's why I don't go into public restrooms.
Like I said, nobody wants to do that just for, hilarity's sake. It is a matter of absolute necessity, or you don't.
That's why I don't. If I have to go, I hold it.
Well,
even if it hurts me.
Yeah, you too could be like your mama with the kidney stones. There you go. Do you really want to do that?
Suffer.
No. Trust me. No, you don't. Mm-mm.
I did that while I was in beauty school.
Yeah, that's not
Got
good.
a kidney stone then.
Well, was that fun?
And I still did it afterwards.
Oh, shit. Well, you do have a lot of Aries in your chart. That's all I can say. Anyhow, this has nothing to do with public toilets. No. Although we probably, I'm sure there's got to be some kind of an anxiety disorder about having to use a public toilet.
There is.
It doesn't surprise me. Does it have one of those big, long Latin names?
I don't know.
Anyhow, we'll make one up. This comes from Ripley's Believe It or Not and was written by Adrian. And on March 21st of 2016, this is about the Boston Molasses disaster.
Which is hilarious, because it's like, what the fuck did they... Like, when you think of molasses, you don't think of a very fluid...
No.
A very, fluid.
Yeah.
You think of a very viscous, very thick, not so drippy thing. Very thick.
However, truth is stranger than fiction. And Adrian writes, when we think of major disasters, we tend to think of natural disasters like Hurricane Katrina, an earthquake in Haiti, or a tsunami in Japan. Disasters tend to be events that capture the public's attention and can hold everyone in thrall for years to come. Could a major disaster ever fade from social consciousness? Surely something like Pompeii has withstood the test of time and is remembered, but that's not the case for all disasters. For example, take the largely forgotten Boston Molasses disaster. The saying slow as molasses didn't ring true in Boston on January the 15th of 1999. Purity Distilling Company owned a storage tank of molasses in Boston. Filled to capacity, the 2.3 million gallon tank was set to be transferred to the company's distillery in Cambridge. The tank had been a staple of the Boston waterfront town for years. People often went to the tank to collect cups of this sticky sweet substance. Can you imagine just having a local molasses fountain sort of thing?
Yeah. Like a giant fondue fountain.
Yeah, really.
But molasses.
Said the tank had a history of issues. There had been multiple leaks, and people complained they heard strange groaning sounds emanating from the giant vessel. After lunchtime on the 15th, the tank decided it could take no more, and it exploded.
Yeah.
The failing tank sent the 2.3 million gallons of molasses spilling into the street. It created a 15-foot high, 160-foot wide wave, moving at roughly 35 miles per hour. It leveled a firehouse and crushed the support beams of the elevated train.
Dear God.
21 people were killed and 150 injured as a result of the disaster. Adjusting for inflation, the molasses wave would have cost $100 million in damages.
Dear God.
The Boston molasses disaster is arguably the oddest disaster in American history, and it surely left a scar on the city. Under the right conditions, the cloyingly sweet smell of molasses emerges from the city today, close to 100 years later. That's incredible.
Can you imagine that horrible smell?
And it says outside of Boston,
I don't like molasses.
the molasses flood has been all but forgotten. And it shouldn't be.
No.
And it's like, can you imagine somebody that's like, I survived the great molasses disaster?
Yeah.
I think we ought to print those up.
Yeah.
There may be some of them out there still. But, you know, Kid was asking if people could have outrun it. And it's like, so we got to looking, and the fastest anyone has run so far as of February of 2020 was about 27 and a half miles per hour. So, and that was one of these top runners in the world. So the average person, no, they did. So, but you know, that would be a hell of a thing.
Right.
To just go out your door and be swept away by a flood of molasses.
That's a way to go.
Right.
Death by sugar.
Right. And it's like molasses, if nobody, some people may not be familiar with molasses, you get sugar cane. And it's one of those things that you crush it, and then you can boil it down and make molasses that way. And there's something that's called blackstrap molasses. Delicious. If you on a hot biscuit, some butter, and then you put some molasses over top of it, and that is a delicacy. And blackstrap molasses is also high in iron.
Too sweet.
It is very sweet. You have to be, you know, just a little dab will do you on that. And
too sweet.
So, all kinds of molasses. Can you imagine trying to clean that? That would, and then the insects that would have attracted.
Oh, God.
That would have been a hell of a mess for a very long time afterwards.
One
ants.
Large glue trap.
Yeah, ants. I don't see how in the world that they ever got it. And apparently, they couldn't get it out of everything, or it still wouldn't smell like molasses ever so often.
Yeah.
I wonder if they built it back, or if they had
That's a good question.
You know, it's like, no,
it's
let's
just like,
not
no,
do
we
that
ain't doing
again.
this shit no more. Or they put it far away.
Yeah.
Far away.
So that was a brief sort of an espresso shot today.
Yeah.
I think after this past week, we all needed a little sweetness. So there you go.
She's gonna get punched in the kidney.
That's on Tuesday, week. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm trying to deal with the other. Still, walking through Walmart was interesting, but made it. Everybody lived, so it's all good.
Yes.
So if you've had experiences, rather, I was going to say if you've got kidney stones, God bless you if you've got kidney stones.
Yeah.
If you've had experiences with the supernatural, paranormal, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, molasses floods.
Yeah.
If you've got local, regional, or family myths or legends. No, seriously, if you've got some kind of
family
regional
stories.
Something that's sort of like the molasses flood, we would love to know about that.
Yeah.
And you can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And the email address will be in the description box, as will the link to Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah.
Know that you're loved.
Yes. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all. Have a good. Take deep breaths.
Drink lots of water. Drink lots and lots of water.
Lots of water.
And we'll see you on the next cup.
Yes, don't get dehydrated.
Bye.
Hydrate.